Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. Today is a big day. This is the 100th episode for Season 6. Crazy that we are already at 100, so congratulations for showing up every day. We have a very short reading today, so let's get started by opening to page 147 to read from Book 7, Chapter 11. Also, I considered all the other things that are of a lower order than yourself, and I saw that they have not absolute being in themselves, nor are they entirely without being. They are real insofar as they have their being from you, but unreal in the sense that they are not what you are. For it is only that which remains in being without change that truly is. As for me, I know no other content but clinging to God, because unless my being remains in Him, it cannot remain in me. But Himself ever unchanged, He makes all things new. I own Him as my God. He has no need of aught that is mine. St. Augustine today mentions that he, quote, considered all the other things that are of a lower order than God, and he saw that they have not absolute being in themselves, nor are they entirely without being, unquote. So I thought we'd take today and talk about the different types of souls that living things have. In the order of created things, there are plants, animals, humans, angels. Now, we're not going to talk about angels today because they're completely spiritual. They don't have bodies, or a material body, I should say. So we're going to just set them off to the side and talk about plants, animals, and humans. And the Church's understanding about these things, a lot of it comes from St. Thomas Aquinas, building off of Aristotle. So that's pretty cool. First up are plant souls, also called vegetative souls. And obviously this is the most basic of all living things. And what makes plants living is that they grow, they take in nutrients, and they reproduce. Now, plants do not have awareness, feelings, or thoughts. Sometimes you'll see people that talk about how the trees scream when they're cut down, or that plants can get hurt. They can, in a sense that like something is broken on them, but they don't feel that. There's no pain there. Their soul is simply what makes them alive rather than like a rock. And when a plant dies, its soul does not continue to exist. It just ends along with the plant. Next up are animal souls. And these are called sensitive souls. And I think that's a great way to put it because animals do have sensitive souls. So just like with plants, they grow, they take on nutrients, they reproduce, but they also have some extra things because they're a bit higher than the plants. They have sensory perception. Most of them can see, hearing, etc., things like that. Especially mammals have emotions and instincts. All animals have instincts, but we really see the emotions come out in the mammals, especially like when you watch a lot of dog videos or even cat videos, you can really see that they do have emotions. They get frustrated, irritated, happy to see you, all those kinds of things. And then they also have movement. So a dog can feel pain. We definitely can see that. Cats can recognize people, and animals can react emotionally. What they can't do is engage in abstract reasoning or moral judgment the way that humans can do. Like a cat is never going to wonder about itself and wonder what it can do to better itself. Dolphins aren't going to make moral judgments about anything. Mostly they're just going based off of instinct or emotions. Now this is going to upset some people, but I'm going to caveat it, so just give me a second. The Church teaches that like with plant souls, animal souls are not immortal. When an animal dies, its soul does not survive independently. Now, everybody's going to be up in arms like, oh no, my dog or cat's going to be with me in heaven. The church has no official teaching on this about whether animals are going to be in heaven or not. It's kind of up for debate. We don't know exactly what it means when an animal dies. Are there animals in heaven? We don't really know. Nobody's come back and said anything about it. There's nothing that we can discern completely that tells us that animals are going to be in heaven. It's a nice thought if they are, but I think the most important thing to remember is if you've made it to heaven and your pets are there, then great. But they're not the reason why you should want to get to heaven. The reason why you should want to go to heaven is to be with God. And if you are in heaven and your pets aren't there, well, you're not going to be that concerned about it because you will be in the beatific vision, and that's all that's really going to matter. So either way, everything is going to be fine. And lastly, our human souls, and we also can call them rational souls. As humans, we have a rational soul, and we can do all the things that the plants can do. We grow, we take on nutrients, we reproduce, we have sensory perception, emotions, instincts, movement, all those things. But we also have intellect, like the ability to understand abstract truths. Like my ability to think about God is not something that animals can do. We also have free will, and we can choose to be moral people. And self-awareness. Like when I look in a mirror, I know I'm looking at myself. If I put my cat in front of a mirror, it has no idea that it's looking at itself. So self-awareness is one of our extra abilities. Now, in Catholic teaching, we learn that the human soul is not made of matter. You can't like go open up your body like the game Operation and search around inside of you and find your soul. Your soul is just what makes you, you. It's why twins have different personalities. Your soul is created directly by God. Your body comes from your parents. Your soul, who you are, comes from God. And the church teaches that our human soul will survive after death. And it's destined for either heaven or hell. So you're either going to be in eternal communion with God, or you're going to be separate from Him, depending on the choices that you made in this life. So I hope that kind of clears things up. I think it's all very interesting. I think thinking about our souls and even animal souls is just a fascinating topic to meditate upon. That your soul is who you are, and because God created it, there's never going to be another one. Never at all. And it's really fascinating when you think about twins. They basically have, or at least identical twins, they basically have the same body given to them by their parents. But their souls were given to them by God, and that's why they're just unique individual people, never to be created again. And I just find that really fascinating. So I hope that this was something of interest to talk about today, and I also hope that it clears up some things. There's a lot of confusion out there about souls and heaven and all that stuff, so I hope that was a bit more clarifying. However, that will be all, Catholic Pilgrims. I will see you back here soon, and until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.